Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a great week. Today is Friday, November 5th, 2021, National Donut Day. And today is your Friday planning video. So once again, we've almost made it through another week. And once again, what a week it's been. So check out Monday's video to get a recap of what happened this week and what we'll be watching for next week. So I want to continue to discuss some of the things that we're going to be focusing on in our meetings between now and the end of the year. November is Long-Term Care Awareness Month, so you'll hear from me about that over the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. I've done a list of items in the past. Check out the last couple of videos about different planning ideas and different things we can do. But I want to hit on 6 specific action items that may work for you. This is the last minute ideas to reduce your 2020 potential tax bill. Now remember, as I always tell you, we do not give specific tax advice. We're happy to speak to you and your tax advisors about how these affect you. But remember, this is not specific tax advice for you. Let's talk about these 6 ways that you can still make a difference in your year 2020 taxes in the final 2 months of this year. So first, as you've heard me discuss before, if you have charitable intent, you can give to charities. This can be done outright, part of an annual giving plan. It can be done through donor advised funds to limit your capital gains. If you use donor advised funds, it's going to limit your capital gains and make your charitable donations all with one action. Now remember, if you're making donations of stock to donor advised funds or outright to the individual charities, use your most highly appreciated stock that you have to avoid those capital gains. It saves you those capital gains, and there's some great strategies on how to do this and what we do to actually set all that up. Please call me about that if you have questions. Next, charities aren't the only ones you can give to. If you want to give money, give to family members, you can do that as well. It's not usually going to give you a tax benefit, but if you have high capital gains stock, so if you have highly appreciated stock and you're in a high tax bracket and your family members are in low tax bracket, it may give you the opportunity to pass along that stock that would, if you sold it, it would be a higher tax than if your family member sold it. So something to think about as well. Are you getting those notices from us about your required minimum distribution? We usually try to clean those up this time of year. So if you're hearing from us on that, think about that. Now remember, that has to be taken by the end of this year in most cases. If you have charitable intent, again, we're talking about that again. If you have charitable intent, and you are not in need of the required minimum distribution for your cash flow, consider using your RMD as a qualified charitable deduction. Move that directly from your IRA to the charity, and that will avoid the idea that that RMD will not count towards your income. Now, like normal RMD does, it will count towards your income, but if you do it through qualified charitable distribution, it will not. You won't get a charitable tax deduction for making that contribution, but you will satisfy your RMD and you will be able to not have to pay income tax on that distribution. It can get a little complex, as you've heard, so call me if you have any questions. Also, consider a Roth conversion. Now again, this one most likely will not benefit you in this tax year. In fact, it'll probably raise your income that you'll be paying taxes on, but it will convert that IRA into a Roth IRA, that tax-free growth vehicle, and that tax-free compounding can really be huge for you. So before I wrap up, let me hit you with a couple of quick ones that may be helpful. If you think your tax rate is going to be higher next year, pull forward some income into this year if you have the ability to do so. If you think it may be lower next year, then push out some of that income into next year. Remember, contribute to the maximum to your retirement plans. Now, you have till April 15th if you're using an IRA. Otherwise, if you're using your employer plan, then you've got to do that by the end of this year. Sell any losing investments and realize those tax losses for this year. Also consider prepaying your 2022 taxes. And finally, on this list, you may also get some state tax benefits if you make contributions to your state's 529 college savings plan. So that's an idea to consider also. Lastly for today, one that many people will forget about. For taxable account investing, as we get towards the end of the year, watch out if you're using mutual funds in that. So mutual funds pay their capital gains at the end of the year usually, and this year many of them are going to be high. So if you are going to buy a fund before it pays its capital gain distribution, you're going to pick up that extra tax burden and you're not going to get the gain that you would get. So you're getting all the expense and none of the gain. So consider timing the purchase for after that fund has paid its capital gain distribution, or even consider using an alternative vehicle like like an exchange traded fund, again, please call me. We can talk about exactly how that goes. As you can see, there are a lot of actions we can take as the year comes to a close. We should address all of them, or at least if they apply to you, when we do our year-end meetings. So please call me. Let's make sure we either meet, we do a call, we set up a Zoom video call to go through your situation as we come to the end of another unique year. Have a great weekend. Be sure you check back on Monday for our market update video. As we come to a close of the year, I'll set this poll question out to you. And I'd love to hear from you with some answers to this. What changes do you think you will make to your financial plan in 2022? Now, can't wait to hear from you. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to set your clocks ahead, to change your clocks Saturday night. Remember, fall back in most of the United States. Have a great weekend.